right. So I wanted to talk about, for those of you who don't know, my first fandom was the Buffy fandom. And I tried to get Brandon into it, and it didn't work. His mom's enjoying it, though.
I tried.
He's mostly here for eye candy at this point, and to perhaps give his opinion on my ideas, which will go as follows. So there have been a ton of articles about the impending Buffy reboot. They've been talking about this for years, and nothing has happened, mostly due to the Kazui's having, like, part of the ownership of the character, and then, like, I think other people own, like, Fox owns the bulk of the characters on the show. And here's my thing. I think a reboot at this point would be dumb. I don't think it would work. They'll end up choosing someone who happens to be blonde and youngish, and that's not going to cut the mustard. Like, the show is so much more than the next young blonde actress who probably can't act and will essentially ruin, you know.
Yeah, because the original actress, she could act.
She could act. That's not. He doesn't like Valley Girl type things, so that film and probably the movie and like probably Clueless.
Like I said, you showed me clips of James Marsters acting, and he is a good actor. I like his style.
I agree.
He's like a dramatic guy. I just don't like the teeny bopper poppy style of acting. It's not my thing.
Well, speaking of James, like, who's one of the few actors who can emote with his face, I once told him when we first met that, like, he doesn't need that. Like, he
which is fucking hard, by the way. It's like the hardest thing in acting. Like,
it's hard. Like, you have no words. You have to act with just your face. And I say, you know, the writers, you know, they do a tremendous job. But, like, if you can act with just your face, I think you got it made.
That's really hard to do.
Exactly. I'm kind of jumping around here. But anyway, I think it should be... I think there are several different options. I think they're being a bit provincial with the universe. And I'm just going to go ahead and pitch them right now. So, since we talked about James, I'll just go ahead and start there. I think that there should definitely be a post-Angel Season 5 Spike movie. Perhaps he's Shanshu. Angel signed his away. That could explain, like, you know, the aging. And for those who insist that he's too old now to play a vampire, like, listen, you had senior citizen Arnold Schwarzenegger play a robot, right? A robot. And he was in his, what, 60s? How old is he right now?
He's 70.
He's 70.
And I think he's got another Terminator movie that he's either, like, working on right now or is about to start working on.
He's not being yet. He was in a Terminator film in the last, like, 3 years. There was
he was just in one, like, 2 years ago.
Yeah. And actually, they explained that the tissue of the robot got old, but that doesn't explain why he gained weight. But that was fine, like, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, he is the Terminator. To make it look more
realistic so the robot could blend in. It makes perfect sense.
Well, it did make sense. But the point is that the audience accepts it because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and he is the Terminator. Like, there isn't, like, well, who's going to be the next Terminator? No one's asking that question, right? No. Who's going to be the next Indiana Jones? It's going to be fucking Harrison Ford. Yeah. You know, who's also, like, probably 70-something. Yeah. Like, they're doing another film.
Those kinds of characters, like, the audience will make ridiculous excuses for like, the unrealism of the aging just because they want to see that actor in that role.
Exactly.
You know?
And the bottom line is that James Marsters is Spike. He is. I don't really want to see someone else in that role. I mean, I have a few maybes, but even then, I'm not even that excited about it. My maybes do include Tom Hiddleston, by the way, and perhaps Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He can pull off a convincing English accent. Or maybe Michael Fassbender. But even then, James Marsters is still Spike, and a really, you know, a good writer. Any writer worth their salt can explain, you know, why he's aged. And even then, no one explained why he looked so vastly different in season 2 of Buffy when he first appeared to the last season of Angel, where obviously he aged, as did David Boreanaz. No one cares. So why should you care now that he looks older? Like, that's just silly. But going back to Buffy, I think it would make more sense to do a continuation than a reboot with the original actress. And I'm a little bit fluid. I said this to Christy Swanson at the panel. I'd love to see, you know, like a movie or a film or whatever where Buffy's 40 or 40 something and she has a kid and she's trying to juggle being a Slayer and working on the fucking PTA, right? So she's like Joyce with Slayer powers. And how does that work? How does that fit in? And, you know, her daughter, like, and that sounds very similar to how Buffy and Dawn related, but they were sisters, not mother-daughter. And then you can definitely bring in the other actors as well who have also aged, but guess what? They're 40-something, so of course they're going to be older. I don't want to put Buffy back in high school. Like, how many times do you have to put these people back in high school? Like, I'm talking about any character. Like, Peter Parker, he's back in, he can't graduate for shit. Like, as smart as he is, he can't seem to get a diploma. So I would like to see, you know, Buffy be older as her audience, the core audience. Obviously, you'll be reaching out to new people as well, but we're older too. I grew up with the show, but I'm older. I'm not 40, nowhere near it, but still, I would think that would be more intriguing than watching someone in high school yet again. And if they were to do a reboot, I would think that Buffy Summers, like, let's make her, you know, perhaps a different ethnicity this time around. Maybe she could be black. I'm just saying. Let's make it different if you're going to put her back in fucking high school. Other ideas. A running series. What's it called? A limited series? American Crime Story?
Limited series.
Alright, a limited series where each season focuses on a different Slayer in a different time period. Hell, in a different country. Starting with Nikki Wood. Give me 22 episodes of backstory on Nikki Wood. Like, yes, we know how the story ends. So what? I still want to see it. Nikki Wood was a Slayer in the 70s during the Black Panther era. You know, civil rights movement, and, well, probably slightly post-civil rights and everything. Big fro, you know, very ethnocentric, and I think that could be a very interesting story, a very interesting take. Ultimately, she does die, as all Slayers do. Like, any Slayer story is going to end in death, right? Because that's how it gets passed on to the next one. Who's the chosen one for that generation? Fine, whatever. So she dies at the end. I don't care. Give me 22 episodes with a solid actress of Nikki Wood. Give me a Ripper backstory series. I'd watch the hell out of that. Ripper is Rupert Giles, who is Buffy's watcher / mentor. And he had a very wild past. You know, he was running the streets and into dark magic and, you know, raising demons and shit. I don't know what he was doing, but I want to know. I want to know more. I want to see it on the screen. Please don't mention the comics to me. I stopped reading them a long time ago. I couldn't get down with the comics except for Angels After the Fall. The story just got too ridiculous and I couldn't stand it. Anyway, give me an Aurelius film. Give me Darla, Drew, Angel, Spike. Give me the Master back in the day, back when they were first made. Yes, okay, again, they look older. I don't care. Give me the awesome period piece. Give me, like, the renewed version of Interview with the Vampire, but with these four badass, the Fang Four. Give me that, because those vampires were very much unapologetic about being vampires, and they went, you know, they cut a swath through Europe.
They were also weird as fuck.
They were. They you know, Drusilla's insane.
They're having orgies and shit.
A lot of vampire orgies. They were taking turns with each other.
Yeah.
It would be a very hard R film, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I could live with that.
I wish most like comic book movies were R, actually, for that specific reason. I feel like they make them very unadult.
Any Aurelius film would have to be an R-rated film. The Rupert Giles thing, actually, when I think about it, that would need to be on, like, AMC or... Actually, no, FX had Nip Tuck. They would need to go really hard with it to be... Or Netflix, where you can do pretty much anything.
It's all R.
HBO, where they can actually have the chance to get nominated for an Emmy. So, yeah, okay, there were those. And there was one more. I mentioned the Slayers thing, and I mentioned Spike. Give me an alternate universe as well. And by that I mean, like, right now the Roseanne reboot starts next week. That's not even a reboot. It sounds like either it's a continuation or it's an alternate universe with the same characters. I think it's more alternate universe, obviously, because, you know, Dan's not dead. Glenn Quinn, who passed away, also from Angel, is no longer there, obviously. We don't really see Johnny Galecki. I mean, I know he's around there somewhere, but he doesn't seem to be a regular. So, give me an alternate universe. And Buffy obviously mentioned alternate universes existing in the series. So you have a lot of elbow room to do many things with these characters. But I'll just finish with, if you're going to do anything, any of those things under the sun, and there are a lot of things one can do, you have to give me, at least as a producer or showrunner, whatever, you have to give me Joss Whedon and or Jane Espenson, because those two people really got the flavor of the show, are really badass with dialogue, and also get drama. Do not give me Marty Noxon. I swear to God, I will throw something if you give me Marty Noxon. I wish I had gone to Paley Fest that year when they had the whole cast, and I would have asked her why she took a dump on the show in season 6. I wish she had gone to a therapist. Do not give me Maudlin Noxious. I don't want to see it. Anyway, I also, side note, I did pitch the Slayers thing to Joss at a Comic-Con a few years ago. Hopefully, I'm hoping that happens, because there is so much. I mean, pick a century, pick a country. There's a Slayer, right? There is so much you can do, and then you can change out the cast, recycle a few of them if you want to for each different season. If you go the Ryan Murphy route and do a miniseries, I think it's brilliant, and I really hope that that's ultimately what they do. And obviously, my passion project is Spike Film. Shout out to Support Spike and All About Spike, you guys. I have not given up hope on that yet. So, yeah. Did any of those sound vaguely interesting in what you might want to see?
Yeah, all of them.
I
don't know, because I don't understand the story at all. Like, I don't know any of the names that you just said, except for Spike. Like, when you were talking about the people who wrote and produced, like, I don't know who any of those people
Spike
are.
movie. Thumbs up?
If it was centered around him and not Buffy.
That's why it's called the Spike movie.
Okay. Yeah, Spike. I'd like to see that.
I don't even think Buffy would be there.
Assuming that the acting is, like, him. He's the focal point, not
if it's James. James has stepped away from the character for so long. I would implore him, if that were to happen, I would implore him to rewatch Spike.
Oh, he's an actor. He'll get back into it.
Because he's done like some impressions at Comic-Con panels, and it's like, that's not Spike. That's some British dude, but that's not Spike. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know Spike, and that was not Spike. That was him talking in a British accent, but not Spike. I know Spike. Also, in the links, I know you're going to do your closing, check out my fanfiction. Again, Buffy started all. I have a ton of fanfiction. Shout out to my Spuffy fans. That'll be in the link.
On that note, if you guys like our content, make sure to subscribe up here in the corner. Also, check out all of our social channels below, which will be right here on the screen. Also, check out the blog, thelivingroomshown.com. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Yay!